The teachers hated me. They always said I'd be a failure. In fact, my head teacher from when I was in primary school followed my business TikTok the other day, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. I thought, what the hell is going on? She was lovely anyway, but yeah, my other teachers in primary school were like the old Victorian type of teachers, and they always saw me as a complete failure. But
Okay. Ben Stickland, the personal branding guy. Welcome to Rad-Ventures, the podcast that takes you on an exhilarating journey through the lives of business owners and entrepreneurs. Entrepreneur and multiple business owner. Welcome.
thank you, Rich. Great to be here, and thank you for inviting me to the show.
You're most welcome. It's great to have you here. We've known each other, about 4 years now-ish?
Yeah, so we met online whilst I was running my previous business as the private healthcare guy. And I've been following you ever since religiously and loving your content.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say. I loved your content in the day, and then you took a little sabbatical, should we say. But now you're back.
I am back with a vengeance.
Cool.
So had a couple of years off, and now I'm back. And I thought there's no other way to do it than be self-employed again.
Cool. Well, we'll talk about your journey in a minute. But firstly, tell us what you do at the Personal Branding Guy.
So I set up this business 3 months ago with the aim and the mission of helping other business owners and professionals to communicate their unique value both online and offline. We'll come on to where my mission started and why I started this in a minute, and my journey and everything from my previous business, because it connects into that. But my aim now is to help business owners and professionals, like I say, communicate what they're great at doing, and to help them encourage other people to start working with them, if that makes sense.
Cool. Right. So, as we always do on the show, and actually, I've forgotten something. I've missed out a section that I was thinking about. I was thinking this is the first recording of 2025. So, Happy New Year to you, Ben.
Happy New Year to you too, Rich.
So, yeah, we're going to do it a little bit different. Firstly, this year, with these recordings. First, I've changed cameras. You might be able to tell it's a little bit different. It might be a little bit crisper. That external 4K webcam that I invested in just wasn't doing it for me. And secondly, we're rearranging the questions slightly. As with previous episodes, we've had problems with question 4's wording, and we may or may not include question 6 with depending on the guest. I think Ben is a question 6 guy, so we'll go with that for Ben. Right, Ben, tell us then about the little Ben. Young Ben, not little Ben. We don't need to know about him. So when you were at school, Ben, what aspirations did you have back then?
Obviously, all children have aspirations to be some kind of astronaut or scientist or doctor or veterinarian, whatever it may be. My aspiration when I was younger was to become an army officer, so go to Sandhurst, actually. I quickly realised I didn't like being told what to do, and my grades weren't good enough. So I diminished that one pretty quickly. And at the age of 18, I had to make that big decision whether I go to university or not. And I took the decision not to go. I thought it's not going to suit me. Education, I love learning, but education in a formal environment is just not for me. So I took the path of packing up my bags and moving to Spain and becoming an English teacher at the age of 18. So that was a baptism of fire into adulthood. But I don't think little Ben would have ever imagined me doing that at 18.
No. Interesting about the army then. What kind of made you think about that? It was the relatives in the army? Normally that's kind of a family career.
Yes, true. No, my parents weren't in the military, but we had lots of family friends who were in the military. It's quite noble. It's obviously adventurous. It teaches you a hell of a lot. And I love the practical side of things. I grew up on a farm, believe it or not, and I learned all the outdoor skills, did scouts, learned how to make fire at the age of 5, used to create all kinds of strange devices on the farm. So I loved working with my hands and being practical. So I suppose that's where the desire came from, but sadly it didn't go anywhere.
Interesting. Another thing I just what you said was that you never went to university.
I did not.
I mean, for someone your age, and you're a little bit younger than me, that seems quite non-conformist.
Yes. And I university is a tricky subject for me. My younger sister, she's 10 years younger than me. She's about to go into university. She's very educational, very, what's the word? She's very into her...
Academic.
Very academic, that's it. So for her, university is perfect. For someone like me, I quickly realised if I were to go to university, it would just be to have fun and get on the piss. So I thought, that's a complete waste of time, and I'm going to walk away with a shed load of debt. And it's a similar situation for my little brother right now, who's in a similar situation, and I'm trying to dissuade him. I know it sounds terrible for any of the listeners out there that want to give me a bollocking. I'm sorry, but I feel like my brother's the same kind of personality as me, and I don't think he should go. I've met him at a midway point and said, maybe you should go to Barcelona because it's like a fraction of the cost out there. So yes, it is non-conformist. Yeah. And if I had gone to university, I don't think I'd be in this position I am in right now.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand because I had the same thing. Applied, went to college, applied, you just needed the grades to get in and accept a place. And I thought, actually, 25 grand for me to mess around for 3 years and just get 25 grand in debt. Oh, no, wait, I've done that bit. 25 grand for me to mess around for 3 years and just get a 2-1 if I'm lucky. I thought, what's the point? So I didn't go either.
Rich, this is going to sound terrible for me for asking, but when were the university fees abolished? No, not abolished. When were the university fees introduced?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you have to pay?
25? Oh no, I didn't have to pay. No, it was free. Like, well, I never went, so I just pulled out. I was like, I took my application and I was like, just cancelled it because I hadn't accepted any places.
Yeah. What did you do instead?
I started working in catering.
Oh yeah, I saw that on your Instagram. You were a chef 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. I was a chef over a period of 7 years, and I worked in 3 establishments. Well, technically 4. I was more of the manager in one of them. But it was like, when I was back then, way back when in the mid 2000s, so 2005-ish.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay was popular. Jamie Oliver, Gary Rhodes, and it was like, get to play with fire and get to play with knives all day. I didn't know about the crap shifts and the other things that come with that. And so I got stuck for 7 years. But then after that, after we had a baby, me and my partner, I decided something had to change, and so I moved into the world of admin. That's how I ended up here.
Thank God you didn't become one of those Gordon Ramsay types.
Well,
and you are the lovely man that you are now.
I was partial to swearing. Obviously, being a dad, I kind of knock it on the head. Well, I'll try to. There'll be the occasional slip, but it's it was one of those where.
You may have seen my recent video on to swear or not to swear in your social media content, and I make an admission in the first 10 seconds that this household is terrible. But my brother and sister are older now, but you'll probably tend to find that as your kids grow up, you'll just think, what's the point? Go on, you can swear.
Yeah. It's one of those. She's 13 next week, so we're not quite there, but few more years.
Yeah. Let it come naturally. Maybe 15, 16, 17, and she'll start introducing it into the household, and you'll think, oh my goodness gracious me, what have we made?
I'll just give her the eyebrow, like, excuse me.
You can't say anything because you were the same at that age.
Right. So you didn't go to university. You went to Barcelona. You were an English teacher. How long did you do that for?
Yeah, so I actually went to Madrid.
Sorry. Barcelona was what you said about your brother.
Barcelona is my aspiration now, funnily enough. Amazing city. I went there for the first time in October. Loved it. So I went to Madrid at the age of 18, packed my bags, got a TEFL certification for any of you out there that know what that is, teaching English as a foreign language. Cost about 200 quid. And I went and taught kids at first for the first few months. We did like recreational trips, what are they called? Where those trips, they go away, and had a great laugh. And then I got another job teaching adults, like lawyers and finance bros and all kinds of professional people, like CEOs of Telefonica. And I turned up there at the age of 18 thinking, fuck, I am out of my depth here. With my script and my class notes and everything. And after a couple of weeks, it transpired that all they wanted to do was just have a conversation in English. Their English was up to a standard, which was pretty good anyway, conversational. And all they wanted to do was practice. So guess what we started talking about? Brexit. Brexit was the main topic of conversation. I know we shouldn't talk about politics on stuff, so I'm not going to go into any beliefs or anything. But they loved talking
we'll allow
about
it. We'll allow it.
Huh?
So we'll allow it for now. I'll cut you off when you start going down the rabbit hole.
I went on a radio show before and I mentioned politics and I got a slap on the wrist. We just started talking about Brexit, and it was they found it interesting. They could relate to it, and it was a great way for them to practice their English. Now, I only lasted about 6 months. It was a pretty tough time. The money isn't great out there. And I spent my whole day just traveling back and forth on the Madrid metro to different classes. They were sending me around rather than them coming to me. So it really took its toll. And after about 6 months, I just had to come home. But it felt like a bloody lifetime. And I learned a hell of a lot. And it was a real baptism of fire into adult life.
Yeah, I bet. And how was your Spanish when you were out there?
So we were forbidden from speaking, like when I was teaching the kids, we were forbidden from speaking Spanish to them, sorry. So there was 3 teachers. I was actually the only native English speaker. The other 2 were Spanish people that spoke English fluently. And we couldn't let on to the kids that we are actually Spanish speakers. My Spanish isn't great, but it was conversational at the time. And because the kids all thought that we were non-Spanish speakers, they would start swearing to us in Spanish. And I looked at them, and I'm not going to say them on this podcast because they're pretty rude for if you've got any Spanish listeners. But I remember locking eyes with this little kid and thinking, I understand what you've just said. Or I think I said, yo entiendo, or something. And his face just went white and he absolutely bricked himself. I thought, I was like, don't do that again. We do understand Spanish. But sorry, my point is we weren't allowed to speak Spanish, so I wasn't really allowed to practice it very much.
Okay, fair enough. So what did you do when you came home after 6 months?
So I did some pretty hardcore jobs. Well, I say hardcore, not physical, but telesales. That's pretty rough. Just getting hung up on all day, and customer service on the phones as well. So my telephone stuff was my forte for some reason, but it taught me a lot because it taught me how to deal with pissy people and a coping mechanism for dealing with angry, shitty people. I remember working for Deliveroo on the customer service, not delivering the food. You used to get people calling you, threatening to sue you because they didn't get a straw with their milkshake. And I'm thinking,
right,
there are kids starving in Africa, buddy, and you're worried about a straw in your milkshake. I actually got to the point where when I was quitting, I just hung up the phone on one guy. I thought, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I've worked in customer service, and it's interesting some of the people you talk to, and so much they're so unappreciative that they can be. And the milkshake, the straw thing, and everything. Yeah. It does give you a certain appreciation when you're dealing with complaints yourself, doesn't it? So you ring up someone, and you're like, "Listen, I've been there, I've done that, I know what it's like." But my usual line is, "But the people who shout and scream usually get what they want." And so, but I'm not going to do that. But and I ended up actually speaking to a well-known internet provider and TV/digital services provider
Yeah.
and mobile phone provider now. And I got a magnificent deal for 18 months just by the fact that I give it the old, I'm not going to shout, but at the same time, people
Yeah.
shout, they get what they want, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like they couldn't match the deal. And when I had to ring up again, they were like, "How did you get this deal?" I was like, "By being nice."
Exactly. Nice. Yeah. I mean, if you're nice to people, honestly, it will pay dividends. And that's what I'm trying to promote in this new business. In its simplest form, don't be a twat. Just be nice, be authentic, just be genuine. And honestly, people will respond well to it. If you're dealing with dickheads, then you're attracting the wrong people anyway. So you're doing something wrong. So my sort of pitch is, I know I shouldn't be talking about this now because we'll come on to it, but it does relate to this. If you're going to be giving out negative energy, then you're going to get negative energy back. Simple as law of
Yeah,
attraction.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Anyway,
Of course. We'll return to that. Tell us more about how you got to. I'm interested to know how you got from this telesales customer service jobs, which I've done myself. That's kind of where I cut my teeth in the admin world,
yeah,
and it is hard work, isn't it? People are very unappreciative. But I want to
yeah,
know how you got from there to the private healthcare guy.
yeah. You're similar to this business, isn't it? I've just rebranded the private healthcare guy to the personal branding guy. So after I came out from Madrid, did the telesales jobs, I then was in another rut and thinking, what do I do now? So I packed my bags and went to New Zealand. So I landed in Auckland, did an insurance job for a year there, managing earthquake claims. So I used to help all the people in Kaikoura and Christchurch get all their money back for their homes. So I was managing like houses that had fallen down and TVs that had fallen off shelves. And then visa ended in New Zealand, so I jumped across to Australia, stepped up the insurance ladder and worked for Lloyd's of London. You know, that big old 300-year-old company that is in the city of London. It's got that weird building built in the 80s. And I was managing insurance claims for them in Australia. I know it sounds weird because it was London and Australia, but yeah, I was managing claims from like dumper trucks in the big mining, all the big mining rigs in Western Australia, to multi-million-dollar farmsteads that had burnt down in bushfires. One of the claims, I'm not going to mention that. Oh, actually, go on. Why not? It's professional anyway. One of the claims that the liability team had, not me, was an insurance claim for a stripper. You can cut this out if you want. Was a stripper falling off the bar, and she'd obviously hurt herself, so she was making a liability claim. So those are my point is, those are the kind of insurance risks that we were dealing with, that Lloyd's of London insures across the world. It's weird and wonderful stuff that no one else will insure. Like they'll insure
Yeah,
spaceships, Beyonce's ass, David Beckham's legs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there you go. That's Lloyd's of
wow.
London for you.
Yeah, I
And
suppose you
then
need insurance somewhere.
everyone needs insurance, right? I need insurance on this face. No, I'm joking. uh, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. So I then had the opportunity to come back to the UK because that visa was about to run out in Australia. And my old man, my dad, he was in the same business, and he said, why don't you come and join as a franchisee for WPA? And I thought, yeah, all right, why not? Chance to be self-employed at the age of 21. I was 21, just moving on to 22 at the time. And yeah, bit their hand off. Took a while, took a few months, a lot of hurdles, took a lot of persistence to get in the door, because the franchise is, I like you, you like me, agreement. So there was a lot of back and forth for a while. And then eventually I took on the business in March 2019. And to be brutally honest, the first year was absolutely horrendous. You didn't know me then, and not many people knew me then. And I didn't have a pot to piss in, and made about 8 grand in the first year, gross. Sorry, not gross. No, net. So yeah, things are really tough. And then after about a year, that's when I started things started to take off from there.
Just before COVID.
just before COVID. Yes, it was all very well timed, to be honest. It was December 2019 that I decided to jump in front of the camera and start making the silly videos that you probably remembered me for. And that's when people started noticing me, because I started entertaining people, which was grabbing people's attention. And then as a secondary effect of my videos, I was educating them, because health insurance in the UK is mystifying for a lot of Brits. We've grown up with the NHS. I'm not selling health insurance now, by the way, sod that industry. But the point is, it was a boring product. It was a product that no one understood. And it was a product that I had to sell to pay the rent. So I had to do something about it. So I jumped in front of the camera, started entertaining people, started educating them about, this is why health insurance is important. This is the problem it solves for you. Oh, and also, by the way, this is my personality. I'm a salesman, but also I like prattling around on camera. So it worked really well. And then COVID hit 2 or 3 months after I started making the videos. Sadly, the NHS really struggled and buckled under the pressure, and therefore sales increased even more. Health was on everyone's minds, and they saw me prattling around on camera talking about healthcare, and people think, oh, health insurance, I thought that was an American thing. And no, actually it does exist in the UK. It's a fraction of the cost. I'm not selling health insurance, by the way. Fuck that industry. But no, shouldn't say that, but I'm beyond that now. I've lost that business, but it did prove very successful when I started to communicate the unique value of my products and my personality. And that is exactly what I'm trying to do with the new business, is be that person that I wish I had when I started my business, and help people to communicate how good they are at their job and how good their product is. That's it in a nutshell.
Nice. I like it. I loved your videos way back when, in the day, as it were. And I actually remember when you stopped. Something went down with the health industry and that business. I remember the day you kind of stopped, and it was all like, something's gone on, but can't talk about it. I was like, Ben, are you okay? Do you need anything? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so whatever went down there, I hope you're okay from it now.
Yeah.
But it was your videos were great, and I suppose probably like on a subconscious level,
Yeah.
that they did inspire me, because the way I do my social media now and build my brand is more entertainment than educational.
Good.
Because I forget about some people don't know that if you press Control V, then that's paste. And I forget that, because I do that all day, every day.
Yeah.
And so I forget all those things. But at the same time, I don't want to come across like, too teaching people to suck eggs.
Yeah.
But yeah, people don't know that if you press Control C, it's copy, and people don't know if you press Control V, it's paste.
Yeah.
And so I'm a bit like, so I just go for the whole, more entertainment. And then down the line, I've ended up making a podcast,
Good.
and then that expands into other things. So somewhere down there, Ben, you probably inspired me.
Good. That's so humbling and great to hear. And weirdly enough, I just posted this morning a message that I received 4 years ago from a person on LinkedIn, saying, just a random message saying, thank you for your content or something like that. And I love it. And it inspires me to make content about my business. I'm thinking, fucking hell, like it actually had that much of a ripple effect. So get out there, entertain people, and people will start to respond. No matter what your business is, even if it's as boring as being I shouldn't say, but like an accountant or a wealth manager or whatever, everyone's got a unique value, and everyone can entertain. Just be yourself.
Just want to add freelance administrator to that role, to those roles.
What was boring?
Yeah, it's like, it's not boring, but it's the everyday shit that no one wants to do. That's what I do for every day.
I don't think it was boring now because of your content.
Well, that's the power of personal branding.
That's the power of what you've done.
We'll come back to the personal branding guy, obviously. But let's talk about let's fill in the gap from the private health guy to the personal branding guy because there was a recent trend on Instagram over the Christmas period, and we are recording this the 3rd of January.
Yeah.
So we just had a trend on talk about all your jobs, which you did previously mention because you said that you knew that I'd been a chef 3 times. So I know a bit of the gaps, but give us a brief overview of the in between bits, and why. Because we're at half an hour already. Oh, mind you, take 5 minutes off or so for the dog. So we're about 25 minutes ish already. We've still got the questions to go, and we still want to talk. I want to talk about your dad. I want to talk about CrossFit. I want to talk about. I want you to give us your top 3 tips for our listeners, but more towards the end of the show. We've got to keep them listening. So give us that quick, brief overview. Then plug the gap for us between the private health guy and the personal branding guy.
Yeah, nice, easy segue there. It's nice, rolls off the tongue. So when I lost the business with WPA, I'll be completely candid and honest with you. This is a comfortable place. I ballsed up the compliance side of things. Health insurance is an insurance product, and therefore it's regulated by the FCA, and therefore in this country it is incredibly, incredibly regulated. So as soon as you make the tiniest mistake, WPA had no other option than to cancel the franchise. So for anyone listening, that is what happened to that business. I went from riches to rags overnight. It was a very humbling experience. I'm glad it happened. Otherwise, I'd be in a completely different situation right now. I then wanted to sort of maintain the lifestyle that I had because it was pretty good, actually. Had a nice flat on the beach in Bournemouth. I was driving a nice car. And I thought, I need to maintain this lifestyle. So I talked around with my huge network of people that I had from the business. And I looked at many options. I actually looked at personal branding at that time. There's a message to someone in my LinkedIn from 2 years ago where I said I wanted to set up this business, but I didn't have the balls. I was too scarred from losing a business. So I went into recruitment, became a senior recruitment consultant, basically placing not execs, but like CEO level, not CEO level roles, but like heads of and directors of, so pretty big roles. Did that for a year, learned a hell of a lot. And I am incredibly grateful to that company that took me on. But after a matter of months, I got bored out of my mind and thought, I can't do this. I can't be employed. But I am ever so grateful to that company for what they taught me and the risk they took taking me on. Thankfully, I did make them quite a bit of money. So I don't feel too bad. And then after about 12 months of doing that job, I thought, why not just go and sail the 7 seas, Ben? You haven't got a partner or a mortgage to pay. So I sold my flat, sold my car, quit my job, and did a few courses to jump on the super yachts, flew out to Palma in Mallorca, spent 2 months there, having a whale of a time, partying and looking for jobs. This was 2023. And I finally got a job in Hamburg in a shipyard. And I worked for 8 months in a cold shipyard on a super yacht that was in a tent, in a shed, on a dry dock, doing heavy maintenance, like angle grinding rust from bilges with sparks flying in your face, going 10 meters down anchor chain bins to grind rust and paint. Like it was basically mining, coal mining to a degree. And then the summer just gone, I did have a proper super yacht experience in the Mediterranean, looking after billionaires and all that stuff. So that was a roller coaster of a ride, nearly killed me mentally and physically. And I don't have any regrets about doing it, but I would not go back into super yachting again. It takes a hell of a person. So kudos to anyone that's in that. And I know Below Deck romanticizes it a lot. Honestly, it takes a hell of a person to do that industry. So that's me filling the gap. And then obviously 3 months ago, I started this venture as a way out of super yachting, basically.
That's quite the
pivot.
Yeah, that's a very abridged version, but very interesting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, lots going on there. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're on the track though, and those places will give you experience, won't they? The super yachting stuff, even though it's horrible and that being in the down in the pit, as it were.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say that? Am I going to get cancelled for that? Is
Down
that like
into
a mining
pit.
reference or something? Yeah, down it pit. I'm from the opposite. I'm from the opposite side of the country.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So yeah. Of course, you've come home from there. Then from your super yachting. Um, and now you're top of Dartmoor
Yeah.
doing personal branding guy.
Yeah.
You've spent a load of time doing your reels and stuff,
Yeah.
and you've just got some external mics. Could have done with my affiliate link there, couldn't I? But never mind.
Yeah.
Oh no, you'd bought them first. I think you'd bought them. And then I said, "Oh, you're getting these," and you said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Cool.
Polyland.
Right, let's pause there then. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the. Let's do the questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I am going to grab them because I'm on my phone. I know them. Why am I looking at my phone? I don't need to. Look straight down the camera. Give question number one. What's been your favourite age so far, Ben?
My favorite age so far has probably been the age of 10 because you have no responsibilities. You living with mum and dad. You have nothing to worry about, not a care in the world. And although the past 10 years of adult life have been incredibly adventurous for me, they have been incredibly tough. Your 20s are not an easy time. They're quite a lonely time. They're a time when you're trying to figure things out. They're a time when you've left your parents, you don't have the comfort of home, and a time when you don't yet have your own family yet. So it's been tough, but it's been great. But yeah, 10 years old would probably be the time when there's no worries in the world. You're not stressing about anything and not a care in the world.
Interesting. We've not had a very young age before. Normally, it's kind of like mid-20s, 30s kind of thing. Well, you can't obviously talk about your
On
30s, but I guess
reflection, I will probably look back at my 20s and think, damn, I wish I was that age again. And I'm trying to tell myself that now. I'm
yeah.
trying to tell myself this is the best time you're ever going to have. And I know it is, but it is also incredibly tough. Trying to start businesses, trying to figure out love lives, trying to figure out what to do, coming back and living with your parents for the first time in 10 years. Like, it's not easy.
No, you're on the right path though. But actually, age 10, you've got SATs to worry about, haven't you?
I never took any notice in school. The teachers hated me. They always said I'd be a failure. In fact, my head teacher from when I was in primary school followed my business TikTok the other day, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. I thought, what the hell is going on? So she was lovely anyway, but yeah, my other teachers in primary school were like the old Victorian type of teachers, and they always saw me as a complete failure. But yeah, I was quite pleased to see it come full circle and my old primary school head teacher follow me on TikTok.
I love that, and that shows them, right? Well, not the head teacher, the other teachers.
The other teachers, yeah.
Cool. Question number 2. What's your favourite quote? This could be a motivational quote, a movie quote, a meme, or any other quote you can think of.
Our wayward steps are best taken with little calculation. That is actually off the top of my head. I'm not reading that from anywhere.
Nice.
It's something like that. And it comes from Winston Churchill, and I read it on something recently. But yeah, our wayward steps or our forward-moving steps are best taken with little calculation. Just like with this business venture, I was thinking of spending 3 months planning it all and thinking it all through before I even took on any clients. And I thought, well, sod that. What happens if I make a product that no one likes? So I actually just set up the business, went out to try and find clients without even having anything prepared. I knew I had the skills from my previous business to help people, but I didn't want to start making something that people might not like. So go ahead and do something. Don't think about it too much, basically. Just take a hell of a lot of risk.
Yeah, that's it. It's like think less, do more kind of thing, isn't it? Or just do it, as
think
Mike
less, do
say.
more. Yeah. Yeah, think less, do more. That would be a definite way of living. This is the way I live life anyway.
Cool. Now then, question number 3 is Google Suite or Microsoft 365?
It's funny you asked that because I've started using Google a lot more with my new business because the website or my emails all connected into it. Obviously, with my previous business, I had my franchise, so they gave me everything. And now I'm thinking, gosh, I have to actually decide what I want to use now. But I've started using Google and I think I probably prefer it because you can just open it in the web browser and then it's a lot more simple and laid out. Whereas if you do it on Word, you have to save the document and then you have to save it there. And yeah, so it'd probably be Google. What's it called? Google Suite.
Google
I'm not
Suite,
that techie.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I use both. Sometimes I use Google Suite. Sometimes I use Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365, back in my day, that was the only thing we had. When we were using the computer in school. Yeah, back in my day. I'm a good 10 years older than you, I reckon. But yeah, so that's what we had, Microsoft. So, I am 39.
Okay, 27.
Whoa, older than 10 years. Make me feel old. Of course, we know who looks younger.
No. I used to have a mustache until recently.
Yeah, I saw that. I liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah? Did you?
Yeah.
It comes and goes. It comes and goes. Depending on the days of the week.
Yeah, depend on the day of the week. Yeah, I'm not allowed to touch the beard just in case. As soon as I do anything to it, I mess it up. So I head off to the barbers, and then they mess it up, and then it's their fault, not mine. Right. So yeah, Google Suite. It's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of it, as I'm sure regular listeners of the show will know. It comes in handy. Some bits of it are nicer than Microsoft's, but I think ultimately, my deep down reason for liking Microsoft is familiarity.
Yeah.
Cool. So, question 4. This is the one we changed. You probably don't know that, Ben, but it used to be really complicated and we got a bit confused over it. So now, 2025, it's just a straight out, what app can you not live without?
Now it would be CapCut for editing all my video content. Like I pay for the paid version and it's worth its weight in gold. Oh, I use it on my desktop actually. You probably saw it yesterday on my story. But
I did see yesterday on your story, yeah. I thought, I wonder what he's using because he's using his desktop.
Yeah, you can get CapCut on your desktop now, so it's a lot easier. There's a lot more functionality on there as well. I couldn't go back to using it on my phone. I teach my clients to use it on their phone because there's no need to overcomplicate it. Like we're not trying to reinvent the wheel with video content. It's just about showing your true self. But with my content, I'm trying to make it a little bit more professional. But I'm definitely still in the learning stage with, well, everyone's in the learning stage, right? With anything in life.
Yeah, I mean, you only have to be a couple of steps ahead of someone, don't you? It's like the copy and paste thing. You know, revert back to that.
But every day I'm just trying to get better and better with the video editing and the techniques and stuff like that. But it's tough.
Yeah. Interestingly, I was playing on CapCut yesterday.
Yeah.
I was trying to mess around with the reels that I've done yesterday and today. And I did think, the paid features look really good. And they have got so much integrated into it now. I've not been on it for a little while.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to give the desktop version a go because sometimes your phone can be a bit fiddly, can't it?
What are you using at the moment? Just your phone? Surely not.
It depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So like Reels, I mostly just use the Instagram editor.
Right. That's what I used to use in my previous business. Yeah. It's not bad, is
and
it?
then no, it's not too bad. Occasionally, I'll use Insta360's app because that can if you put the clips in, it kind of mostly ish does an auto edit for you, which comes out okay.
Yeah.
I've used Video Leap in the past. I had a paid version of that for a time.
Yeah.
And then my daughter recently got CapCut. Well, not recently, a while back. And so I was like, I'll give that a go because she was making all these wonderful using all these wonderful templates. And I was like, maybe I could use a few of those.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited about the desktop version. I do like a desktop version, so I'm going to try that this afternoon.
Yeah, it's very fiddly on your phone, and there's more functionality on the desktop. And like I don't use the AI features, but it's very clever, very clever. It's sort of like it's got a lot of functionality, but it's also very simple to use. There's not a lot of buttons.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, question number 5. How many unread emails do you have on your phone right now?
0. I'm a OCD mad guy. I would, if I, even if I have like one notification on a random app, like I get notifications from SoundCloud, which is really frustrating. I'll open the app and make sure it disappears. I'm in total control of my emails, and
Okay, so
they're all filed
okay, that
properly.
was my next question. It was like, do you
Yeah,
file them? Do you delete them? Do you
yeah.
leave? Do you just read them and leave them there?
No, I file them all. So my to-do list is my inbox, and a guy taught me that I worked with in Australia, and it was the
Hmm.
best tip. If there's any tip I can give to anyone, is file your emails. It's so boring, but it has been the best thing for controlling my OCD stuff. Best tip I've ever had.
Nice. Top tip from Ben there in admin administration. File your emails.
What's your top
uh,
tip?
for emails,
Yeah,
interesting. I mean, for me, the one thing I would say is if you are using an inbox where someone needs access to it. So, for example, you're working for a client,
yeah,
and you have access to their emails.
yeah,
Firstly, if you're accessing their inbox, then they have their own filing system. You're going to have to learn to use that.
yeah,
Or secondly, if they're trusting you with an email address of your own, then you need to make
yeah.
them aware of your system, because
Right.
otherwise they're not going to be able to find something that they may need. Experienced
Ah,
that in the past.
right.
So yes, top tip: make sure you know each other's systems when regards to emails.
Spot on. There we go. Much better than mine.
But oh well, emails is kind of my day in day out, isn't it? Um, ooh, letter arrived. Right. Question number 6 then, especially for Ben on this episode of Rad-Ventures, is if you could afford any car, you don't have to worry about the outlay costs, the maintenance costs, the insurance costs. What car are you having?
Jaguar E-Type.
Older one or a new one?
Old one, obviously.
Okay.
I am a classic car man. I grew up with my granddad driving around an MG BGT, which he
Oh yeah,
frustratingly sold. Ugh. But yeah, I would have loved to have drive that around. That would have been
nice. The
amazing.
With regards, I like the look of old cars sometimes,
Yeah,
but then I do worry that you would miss out on some of the modern cons in there.
I don't care.
Uh,
I'd happily sacrifice shivering my balls off in the winter and roasting. Just open the window, you'd be fine.
yeah, it's more of the cold I'd be worried about, and you'd have a radio or a tape
Get a
player. Whoa.
generator in the back and stick a heater in there.
Yeah, and the windscreen clearing thing. I mean, that is
Yeah,
like a marvelous invention from Ford, right? You press a button, it clears your windscreen. You
yeah,
don't get that on those old cars.
no.
You get
But
like 20 minutes with the cold heater, just blowing cold air at you,
that's not the point, Rich.
and power steering. Have you ever
Yeah,
driven a car without power steering?
yeah. I drove my granddad's old car. Pain in the ass. Yeah,
Yeah,
pain in the
not
ass.
good.
Yeah, it's good for them. It's good workout though. Hey,
Good workout. Yeah. All right. That's the questions done. We got through those fairly quickly, I reckon.
we did. Yeah.
And we learned more about Ben. So I think this will all nicely tie everything up this next question.
Go for it.
What do you want to be if and when you grow up?
I want to be doing what I'm doing now. I've chosen to do this. No, I shit you not. I mean, I've chosen to do this because I enjoy helping people, and my mission is to help people communicate how bloody good they are at what they do, so they can attract more clients. I haven't set this business, because I haven't got any other options. I could have stayed in yachting, and yeah, it was tough, but or I could have gone back into employment. So I've chosen this industry, or this business, because I'm truly passionate about it. What I would say is, like, another passion of mine perhaps is being out on the water, not on super yachts. God save me. But like sailing or something like that, that is what I truly love. Could I get paid to do it? Probably. Yeah, in the future. But yeah, doing like my dream job would be doing this, what I'm doing right now, helping people with personal branding and sailing. That would be
Yeah.
my dream life.
Okay. Here's the pitch to mix those two together.
Go for it. Oh God, how are you going to do that?
You have your branding agency. You
Yeah,
get in with a videographer.
yeah.
You inspire someone to make an 80s style video on a yacht, like Rio by Duran Duran. Boom, you're getting paid, you're paying out on the water. You can have that one for free.
Yeah. So my granddad's got a little boat out in Spain, so I could use that.
There you go. I can hook you up with a videographer. We just need a
Yeah.
client now.
Yeah. We watched the Grand Tour episode with Richard Hammond out on the boat in Vietnam.
I have watched no episodes of the Grand Tour.
Oh, never mind. Okay, move on. Never mind.
Yeah, I want to. It's just been one of those things where it never kind of got there.
Never mind. It's inappropriate anyway. I'll move on.
Cool. So with the personal branding guy, then a lot of
Yeah.
your videos have your dad in. You've mentioned your dad before because you mentioned about him being part of WPA.
Yeah.
So, and obviously you're living with your parents at the moment.
Yeah.
So do you kind of do you use him so that you've got someone to kind of battle with, kind of
Someone to
talk
bounce off.
to, or
Yeah. He's great in many ways. My dad, I love him a lot, but to the point, he's got a boring industry. He does health insurance, so I can use him to demonstrate that even you can create a fantastic personal brand even if you have a boring product or service. He's pretty good on camera. He's very bubbly. There's a few things that I've tried to help him with. Obviously, none of it. We're all learning, right? I'm not perfect, but yeah, he's just great, and he's someone to bounce off as well. So we have that interview style format, which positions us both as thought leaders. He's got tons of experience running businesses. Most have failed, but some have succeeded. But I don't mean to sound like one of those podcast guys like Alex Hormozy, but the more failures you have, the more you've got to give, right? So
yeah, you beat me to it. I was just about to say, yeah. I mean, I think he's great on camera.
he is good.
I've watched. I went onto his page the other day and watched some of his videos where he was like, "What should I call my page?" And yeah, he's building quite a following himself.
What, the fit old guy? You went onto that page?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, he used to do those. Yeah.
I don't know how I ended up on that.
He's been keen as a bean, and that video I did with him, the first one I did with him for this business, about no matter what age you are, you've got a unique value to give. He reposted it on his LinkedIn, and he got triple the amount of engagement that I got on my post. And he reposted it. He didn't even post it. And you'd think that reposting doesn't get much engagement, and it got me like 3 inquiries.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to use him more.
Yeah, dad all the way. And he's a fit guy, isn't he? He's like CrossFit, like he's pretty ripped, your dad, for what is he, like mid-60?
No, he's mid-60, nearly, well, that's a bit rude. Yeah, he's nearly mid-60s, but I'm actually sat in his gym right now. Well, it's not a gym, but he's just got all this CrossFit stuff plastered on the wall.
Yeah.
Like all these Olympic bars and weights and silly BDSM machines and stuff.
I saw a post the other day where someone described they were in like a sales kind of meet-in training, and they described something as BDSM, and I can't remember what it was now. It was like bold, disciplined social media or something, or sales and marketing. That's it. What was it? Business development and social business development, sales and marketing. And I was like, yeah, not the pick a different one.
That's brilliant. I don't even know what it stands for.
You've done you did CrossFit, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm back. I've done CrossFit for many years, and the past year I've been pretty slack at it just because I've been all over the place on super yachts where you don't have a single grain of energy left after the day to do anything, and just moving around. So I went back yesterday to the gym in Exeter, and I'm going to be doing that most days now. So I'm just going to get straight back to it. But
and something's just flashed into my memory.
Yeah.
You're a qualified personal trainer, aren't you?
I'm not, but during COVID, I did start training.
Ah, that's it.
So I might have posted something about that. And then my ADHD got the better of me, and I was like, move on, next one.
Yeah, that's boring. Let's go. Something else.
Yeah. So I did try to
Ah,
become a body pump instructor. And
oh,
yeah,
that's it. Les Mills. Yeah.
Les Mills, which I love. I still love to this day. But I couldn't be bothered. It wasn't going to make me loads of money. I don't know. It was something I did as sort of a passion, and they wanted me to send like a 2-hour video or something. I thought, I haven't got time for that.
Cool. Right. So before we start wrapping up, Ben,
Yeah.
we're not going to wrap up yet. So keep watching and or listening. Ben is going to tell us his top 3 tips for personal branding. The floor is yours, Ben.
So first and foremost, everyone's got a personal brand. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Your personal brand is your unique value, your experiences, your stories that you've got. Even if you're a 20-year-old, you've got stories to tell. And guess what? If you're 65 years old, you've got tons of stories to tell. So it's all about sharing your stories, sharing your experience, sharing your unique value. And by doing that, people will start to buy into you as a human. So my first tip would be understand your unique experiences, your unique stories, and start sharing them online and offline. My second tip would be to get in front of the camera and do short form content. I think that's the way forward now. Obviously with TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, started going on there. It's a huge industry, and it enables you to communicate with your audience in a way that's raw, authentic, and also it enables you to communicate with anyone in the world. So if you are in an industry like you and I, where borders are no limits, then you can start connecting with anyone across the world. And what I found with my previous business is that getting in front of the camera shows people your true personality without having to go and meet every single person at a face-to-face networking event. Nothing against face-to-face networking. That was the bread and butter of my last business, and I did that religiously every morning for a good few years, and that was nearly the end of me. And number 3, I would say, don't be a Del Boy. Del Boy is always trying to pretend to be someone he's not. So just be as authentic and as real as you can be. And this is a venture that I'm still. This is a discovery path that I'm still going down. I'm trying to be as real and as honest as I can be, whilst also trying to keep it PG.
Yeah.
But don't try and pretend. Go on, Rich. You go.
No, sorry. You carry on. Carry on.
When you're starting a business, yes, I have the experience of running my old business and building a personal brand in my early 20s without realizing it. But there are gaps in my knowledge, obviously. And I've spent the past 3 months trying to build and develop that knowledge and skill set. With even my first clients, I've developed so much. But you undoubtedly copy people. You try and imitate people. And it can work well because you learn techniques from them and ways of communicating and knowledge that they have. But slowly and steadily take that knowledge and their way of doing things and make it your own. It will take time, but make it your own. Be as authentic as you can be. And if you want to start swearing on camera, swear on camera. That's fine. No problem with that, because it will start attracting the right audience, and it will self-select, and it will push away the clients you don't want to work with anyway.
I fucking love those, Ben.
I knew you'd say that.
I am quite predictable, unfortunately. Yeah, no, I think they're great, and I appreciate you doing those on the spot for us there. Though I know that you could deep dive into that knowledge bank of yours and produce those for us.
Yeah, if I had
So
more time to think about it, I would definitely. But that's off the top of my head, and Like if you did ask me that question 3 months ago, I'd have been like, oh Jesus. But we're all learning, so yeah.
It's in there somewhere, and a lot of the
Yeah.
time when we do it all day, every day, we forget. Well, we don't forget these things; they're just not at the forefront of our mind. Let's say.
Exactly.
Um,
And on that note, if you're making video content, it's not just a way of communicating externally to people and showing yourself. It's a great way of practicing your message, and also it acts as a punching bag for like speaking events. So and it starts ingraining it into yourself. So when I'm making these videos, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm just doing it to get out there. And it's actually helping me reinforce my message into myself and into my coaching towards my clients. Anyway, there we go.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean with those. With that one particularly, the more I find myself on camera making these
Yeah.
episodes, I think you're what 31, one of those
Yeah.
episodes of this podcast, and I find myself. Firstly, I find it easier to look into the camera now.
Yeah.
Though next time I'm going to have to put my laptop slightly up so that I don't have to look so far down to
Yeah.
look what you're saying.
And sit upright.
Yeah,
That's
and
my
well,
microphone.
I am kind of a leaning forward kind of person, getting the mic, ASMR,
Yeah.
and all that. But I then watch other videos. You fall down a hole, and it's all about presenting and things. And I know I say a lot. It's like that's my filler word, and I know
It's
I say
fine.
but I'm trying to start I'm trying to pause instead of saying
Yeah.
the and make things better. And so
Yeah.
but it's experience, isn't it? It's time behind the camera, as it were.
Yeah, it's as I say, it's a punching bag, and it will help train your speaking skills, your camera skills, your presentation skills, shall I say, your editing skills. Right, I'm trying to get better at that. But Rich, what I would say about you is you've built a fantastic personal brand since when I first connected with you on social media as the admin guy. You've built up such a brilliant, personable, relatable brand. You're doing your podcast, you're helping other business owners, I pat you back, your back, you pat my back. That's what having a good personal brand is all about. You're getting on camera, you're showing your smiley face, you're educating people. That is what a personal brand is all about. You don't need
I
my
appreciate that.
services, Rich.
Nice of you to say.
Yeah.
Right, just before you tell us where we
Yeah.
can all find you and find out more about you. Of course, I will put these in the show notes. Just a quick message: if you are watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, do click that subscribe button. That would be much appreciated. If you're listening on the podcasts on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, if you wouldn't mind leaving a review, and don't forget to subscribe for new episodes. New episodes are coming out this year with more guests, more not personal, more solo episodes where, as Ben says, I'll share my experiences with you. There's one in particular I want to talk about. It's about the book Who Moved My Cheese. It's a great story. It's how I ended up moving from one job that I liked to one job I absolutely hated. So stay tuned for that one somewhere. And also, if you want to support the show, we do have a coffee link somewhere. We do have to pay for Riverside, which is $29 a month. So at the moment, it's an expensive hobby. So any donations via coffee are much appreciated. If you're interested in Riverside, drop me a message. Affiliate link available there too, and I will help you with any questions. So back to the show with Ben. Ben's now going to tell us exactly where we can find out more about him.
So my website is thepersonalbrandingguy.com. Nice and easy, nice and simple. I don't know how I managed to get that URL. I was sat in my bunk on the super yacht thinking, oh, I need to buy the URL. That's the first priority. And I managed to get that one. So it's thepersonalbrandingguy.com. And I'm on TikTok, same name, thepersonalbrandingguy.com, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, YouTube account, I'm on there. And obviously LinkedIn as well as the wonderful Ben Stickland. No personal branding guy title there because LinkedIn is about the person, right?
Nice. I didn't realize that you were on YouTube. I shall follow you. And TikTok's one of those things with TikToks. It's like I'm on it and I occasionally post on it.
Yeah.
But I don't follow everyone that I already follow. So I'm going to follow you on there too.
Just a quick bit on TikTok. I know it might seem a bit overwhelming to have many different accounts, social media accounts. But if you're making short form reels on Instagram, you can save them to your camera roll and just repost it on TikTok, as long as it hasn't got the watermark.
Watermark, yeah.
Which will bugger the algorithm. Then just whatever you're filming and editing, just post it all on the same platform. You'll notice that it's all the same videos. It's just getting triple the amount of reach because I'm putting it on different platforms. And YouTube Shorts is new, so it's pushing it out. Do you remember when LinkedIn or Instagram Reels first came about? They were pushing out to like 5,000 people. That's how I built my success 4 years ago. So now with YouTube, that's your place to be. Anyway.
Yeah, YouTube is a little interesting. They've recently changed the algorithm. They're putting more emphasis on new creators.
Yeah.
So people with less than 500 followers are getting pushed to, and that is with shorts and with normal video.
Yeah.
Because YouTube obviously is an advertising platform. They get money for you watching it, basically.
Yeah.
So they want more creators monetized.
Yeah.
So if you post, you follow the rules, you have your good thumbnails, you do your SEO, you're making your good content with your hooks and everything, then you are going to find yourself your thumbnails next to massive accounts at the minute on YouTube.
Yeah.
But if you, sorry, go on.
On YouTube Shorts, though, I can't seem to upload a cover photo, so I have to choose a frame from the actual video.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
That is a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
This morning, on my YouTube account, I now have 3-minute shorts.
Yes, I saw that. That's good. That's brilliant. Yeah.
That was literally this morning. I've just uploaded a 2-minute 10 one, but you can't add any music on them over 60 for licensing purposes. Disappointing slightly, but there you go.
Yeah, that's another topic. Music.
Yes, that's another episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, Ben. You've told everyone you can find us. I really appreciate you coming on the show. I've done a cheeky plug for subscribing to my YouTube. I think we're pretty much done.
I really appreciate you having me, Rich, and it's a pleasure being interviewed by someone with such a brilliant personal brand already.
Oh, I appreciate it. Your comments are too kind. Right. Thanks for coming on, Ben. Really nice to talk to you. I'll probably be in the DMs with you later on because we talk quite a lot on Instagram, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, back and forth, liking each other's stories, content.
That's
supporting each other as small business owners, which I should encourage everyone to do.
That's what it's all about. It's all about, for me, it's all about that community. I like your post, you like mine. How are you doing today? You okay? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Doesn't take much.
Come on my podcast. I'll share it. You share it. It's all fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Doing the right thing.
Okay, so thanks for listening / watching. If you have made it this far, really appreciate it. We will be back next week with another episode. But in the interim, peace out.
Ciao.
Thanks for joining us on Rad-Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe via your favourite platform. Always happy to chat, so hit me up in the DMs, and I'll see you on the next Rad-Venture.